Most of you know what these little things are. They're not very impressive looking, but these tiny little stones have many times tipped the scales of history. They're called flints. That's where the flintlock gets its name. Without flints to ignite the powder, the weapons of the War of 1812 would have been completely useless. A man can be like this piece of flint, his strength and fire hidden until destiny strikes a spark that may change the fate of a nation for good or evil. He doesn't have to be born a king or an emperor. He can come from very humble parentage. He can be a rail splitter from Kentucky, or a house painter from Austria, or a little corporal from Corsica, or even a ruthless pirate can turn the tide of history. There was such a man, condemned, pardoned, and again condemned by 3 American presidents. His name was Jean Lafitte. Some say that Lafitte was a robber, a cutthroat, a traitor. Others, that he was a privateer, a gentleman smuggler, and a great patriot. But nobody even knows what he looked like. But from this mass of history and legend, a real man emerges. No peg-legged, patch-eyed pirate of fiction, but the most romantic figure in the history of romantic New Orleans. This is how we see him. This and this. This is the man of whom Lord Byron wrote. He left a corsair's name to other times, linked with one virtue and 1,000 crimes. What was this one virtue of Jean Lafitte? The Buccaneer tells you the story of that one virtue and some of the 1,000 crimes.
What are you mumbling about, Deacon?
Saying a prayer for a dying ship.
Cheap enough, 6 dead and all.
7. Counting you, Mr. Brown. Because I'm going to hang you.
This Buccaneer, Jean Lafitte, that men called the Terror of the Gulf, is played by Yul Brynner. Lafitte ruled his own little kingdom, the island stronghold of Barataria, near the mouth of the Mississippi. The Buccaneer is more than a pirate story, for Lafitte and his little island played a vital part in American history. The young republic of the United States was fighting for survival in the War of 1812. All that stood between the invading British Army and the city of New Orleans was a handful of squirrel hunters and raw recruits. Commanding them was a backwoods general named Andrew Jackson, played by Charlton Heston.
Well, what's the news?
Now, stand easy, Captain.
Captain Wilkes, reporting from President Madison, sir. The British have captured Washington. They've burned the Capitol and the White House. The fate of the country is in your hands, sir. The British invasion fleet is headed for New Orleans with 16,000 troops aboard.
16. They expect me to stop them with it.
I've got 1,200 men. Most of those boys don't have shoes, let alone musket flints. How do you... New Orleans, huh?
Right. We've got more chickens here than we got troops. Come on, get on out of here. New Orleans. Yeah, if they control the Mississippi, they'll really have this country by the throat. Yeah, I expect we could set up defenses here, and here, and here.
Not there.
Why not?
That's Barataria.
What?
Every foot of that swamp land is controlled by Lafitte the pirate. From New Orleans to the Gulf. We'll have to deal with him first.
Deal with him? A pirate? Deal with him? I'll hang him.
Lafitte was caught between 2 fires. The British and the Americans both knew that Barataria was the back door to New Orleans, and Lafitte was the key. The Americans wanted to hang him. The British wanted to buy him.
We are authorized by the Crown to pay you $30,000 in gold.
You realize who you are dealing with? Why, the ships of Jean Lafitte comb the waters of the world. 100 captains obey his commands.
The fiery Dominic Hugh, an ex-cannoneer of Napoleon, played by Charles Boyer. Dominic hated all countries, governments, and flags. To him, Lafitte is the last free man on earth. Why then did Lafitte go to the man who had put a price on his head, the American governor, Claiborne, and offer all he had?
I have men, ships, guns. All yours for the asking.
We cannot meet the British offer of $30,000.
Governor, I didn't come here for money.
Then what do you want?
What did he want? Was it a pardon? Or was it the governor had a lovely daughter, Annette, played by Inga Stevens? And what answer did Lafitte receive from the country he offered to help?
Where you started, Lafitte? With no one to take your orders but the mosquitoes?
A bit of flotsam left in the wreckage. Bonnie Brown, played by Claire Bloom.
I waited for this moment to see you smashed. Beaten. I see it, it hurts.
Don't give me your pity. You like your hatred better.
Where you going?
New Orleans. I'll get my men out of jail if I have to kill Jackson himself.
The eternal, I got the British marching up my back. I can't stand here talking all night. Now, I need powder and flints, but you won't give this order a release till I know where they are.
Oh, you're looking for a quick way out of life, Jackson.
If you put a bullet in my brain, I'd still live long enough to kill you.
What was the bargain driven between this flint-hard pirate and this iron-willed general? A strange alliance and a strange army of squirrel hunters, dandies of New Orleans, Choctaw Indians, free men of color, untried militia, facing the might of a magnificent British army, fresh from its victories against Napoleon. It was in this same war of 1812 that the rocket's red glare inspired the Star-Spangled Banner. Rockets that were the great-grandsires of Jupiter, Vanguard, Atlas. This same war of 1812 gave us a general who became president, and a pirate who, well, you see the picture and decide whether this Buccaneer was hero or villain, a saint or a sinner. But I tell you, he was fact, not fiction. He was a man, and he was there. Commence firing!
Well, greetings, my friends and fellow modelers. I'd like to welcome you to another video, and this is going to be a pretty fun video. This is going to be a model kit from Aurora. This is a vintage model kit from the 50s, and it was inspired by a feature film from the 50s titled The Buccaneer. And this is going to be a pirate ship model, which is always fun. I've shown you a few pirate ships in the past, model kits, whether it was the Black Pearl or the Flying Dutchman. So we're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to go back to the 1950s, and we're going to take a look at the model kit that was inspired by the movie The Buccaneer. Okay, let's take a look at the Buccaneer. This is inspired by the great new motion picture. Cecil and DeMille present The Buccaneer, scale model pirate ship. This is a Henry Wilcoxon produced film and directed by Anthony Quinn. You can see the illustration of the box. Then you look over at the ship model itself, and we have, this is part of the famous Aurora Fighters series. Look at that beautiful ship. It's going to be a really, really fun build. Looking at the side of the box, you can see this is Aurora Plastics Corporation, and this is from West Hempstead, New York. The Buccaneer scale model pirate ship, and you got the same illustration. There's not a whole lot on the sides of the box. It's basically the same. Looking over at the end of the box, you can see that this is kit number 429-1.98. And I think it's the same on both ends of the box. Let's get that same illustration. So when you go ahead, you open up the box. We'll take a little gander on what's inside. Let's see, maybe I put this in a place where, there. First thing I notice is we have an instruction sheet. And these pretty old instructions from the 1950s. Let's see, I'm going to open this up carefully. So you can see the actual instructions are written down. And I don't think there's anything on the other side. I think, oh, there is, okay. Let's take a look at this side first, because this is other model kits that are available from Aurora. Look for this Aurora trademark. It's your guarantee that you're building America's finest plastic scale models. And you can see the whirlybirds. You got the Hornet, the Army Mule, the Workhorse, the Windmill. You got the giant bombers. Pretty cool. B-29, B-25. We got the Catalina, the PBY, and we got the P-26 in the water. We have more planes, jet fighters. Let's get the light out of the way. A lot of planes. And we got tanks over here now. We got the General Patton tank, German Panzer, or the Panther, excuse me, and then with Russian Stalin tank. So a lot of military vehicles from Aurora. Only Aurora gives you all of these scale model features. Let me try to get this for you. Aurora offers the largest collection of truly authentic scale models in the world and other model kits. So that's what's on the other side. So looking at the front, you open up the whole thing. You can see the directions, the illustrations of all the pieces that go together. That's pretty cool. Let's see. You can see how the rigging is going to go. And this is the black Falcon. This cement may be purchased from your dealer. The cement is not included. Before assembling the ship, carefully study the sketch. Place all the parts on a work table as indicated. Important, apply cement inside surfaces only. Avoid getting cement on outer surfaces of the ship's sections. Use cement very sparingly and avoid getting cement on hands, so as not to mar or smear the plastic surfaces. In order to obtain maximum strength and neatness, it is suggested that all the cemented subassemblies be given ample time to dry before handling. You can see the paints. That was a long time ago, the little jars of paint for 10 cents each. Let's take a look at the, let's see, instructions for assembling the pirate ship. Note, it is suggested that the deck be best fitted into proper position in the hull halves without cement, so that the exact location is determined and paint in which cement is to be applied noted. So it goes through all the different steps that we would do. Cement the deck to the right hull half before putting the halves together. Then we do the other hull half to the previous one, the keel and stern, put it on a stand, cement the cannons to the decks, the poop deck, lifeboats, the supports, the bow support, the bowsprit, the figurehead, and it goes all the way down. We got the platform, the cement, foremast, the anchors finally bringing up the rear as the rigging. So let's see, number 25, it ends with, if it is desired to further decorate this model by painting the cover as seen on the cover of the box to which the model is packaged, may be used as a guide both as a color section and areas to be painted. Here is the advisable wait to at least 24 hours so that the cement will be completely dried in order to prevent crinkling or lifting of the paint. Caution, only use those paints which are specified for use on plastics. These paints are available at your local hobby shop, toy dealer, and variety store. So, and then it gives you a finished picture of the Black Falcon. So, very nice. Very vintage instructions. I don't see a date on here on either side. I didn't see a date on the box, but I'm going to put the date up so you guys can know what when this was released. So let's put this to the side. So the first thing we have is the tissue paper. Now I don't know if this was original to the kit or if this came like when it was shipped, so I'm not sure. But first thing I notice is we've got, let's see, this would be the starboard half of the ship, and look, you can see some of the cannon already molded into the plastic, and where the bowsprit would go. And the plastic itself is really, really thick. This plastic is, almost, feels like it's almost 1/8 of an inch thick. So this plastic is really, really sturdy. And I can almost guarantee if they re-release this, it's not that thick. Kind of like the Enterprise from AMT. The original release was so solid and fit together greatly, but the different molds, later releases, wasn't quite the same. Seeing the other half of the ship, this is the port side. Let's try putting them together. You can see the little areas where they're supposed to meet. Just like that. And we need to put a little bit of putty on this to keep her together. As you can see, there's a wicked gap in there. But this model is from the 50s, so we could make it up looking like she appears on the box, or in the film, actually. I'm going to put up as we go along, we're going to put up pictures of what she appears like in the film. So that's the ship and the main deck. And look at all the, wow, this got a lot of detail on it. Let's put this aside for a moment. Look at that, huh? Keep in mind, this is from the 50s. So we've got the wood grain, got the little staircases. Let me, let's put the light on. Maybe you can see, yeah, you see the detail a little bit better. It's really nicely detailed. You can see the wood grain. You can see the cargo hatch covers, the grill. You can see where the masts are going to go into place. You can see this area that would have glass. I don't know if that would be part of where the captain's quarters would be. Probably not. That would probably be at the aft end of the ship, but this would, I'm almost positive this would have glass on it. Hopefully we can find pictures of the ship. You can see the bottom. There's no date on the bottom either. You can see some more hatches going all the way back. Matter of fact, let's see if there's a date on the inside of the hull. And again, I don't see any type of, no, there's no date. But interestingly, the instructions would have us put the deck in, glue it into place on one side. You can see it goes into, fits in like that. And once this is glued, then we put the other half on. And it would go just like that. So, a little bit of puttying, but this model wants to go together pretty well. And then we have the part that goes on the end. And let's see, let's check out the base. So I love that. Look at that. They don't really decorate it on the instruction sheet, but look at the base. It looks like a map. We could really make this look really, really cool. Is there a date? Nope, there's no date on the inside, but look at that. That can be really fun to detail up. And let's see if I can get the ship to rest on the stand as we go through the other pieces. So it's going to go like this, and just like that. Look at that, huh? All right, let's check out some of the other pieces. I notice, oh wow, look at this. We have some, looks like chain link for the anchors. That's pretty cool. I wasn't expecting that. You can see the rings. I think those are where the anchors are going to go on to. Let's see, I see a lifeboat or a dinghy. I don't know if that's going to go on the, yeah, that's going to go on the deck. I don't think it hangs off the back or anywhere else. Let's take a look at the tree now. So, the aforementioned anchors. You can see where the link is going to go on to. You can see the mast. Let's see, part of the mast. I think this will be the main mast. And hopefully you can see the little skull and crossbones at the top. And let's see, we got the other part of the mast over here. And this actually Looks like the part that's going to go on the bow. Decoration, or the statue for the front of the ship, and check out the cannons. How cool are they? It doesn't really say what scale this is in, but a lot of detail on these little cannons. That's pretty cool. So that's the first tree. Let's check out the next. Looks like we got some of the railing. More than likely it goes this way. And we've got more of the masts. And we've got the bowsprit, as well as the cross beam that's going to go on the bowsprit. And none of these have the sails molded on. The ship on the box has the sails folded up, but these are just the beams. They don't have the sails at all. Let's see. We got one more tree. Well, actually, we got another one, but we'll get to that in a minute. This one, you can see, has all the rat lines. Molded in black. And we have more of the beams for the sails. And I'm not quite sure what this piece is going to be. Could be part of another part of the mast, but that's the last large tree. There's another tree piece in here. It looks like the rudder. I'm sorry, this isn't the rudder. This is actually the back of the ship, the Black Falcon. This is where the captain's quarters would be, so that's going to go on the back of the ship. And you can see the wheel, the ship's wheel, as well as, I think that's where the wheel is. I'm not quite sure what this is, if that's a cargo hatch or a door. But that's the last tree in the box, and there's one piece that's left. And this is another, looks like this would have been on this part of the tree. And that's everything that's in the box. So when you look at the model kit itself, it's not going to be terribly hard to put together. It's going to be really fun. Let me open the instructions up for you again. These are so old. They're just, I don't know, it's so brittle. Look for all plastic models illustrated on the reverse side of this plan, and we went over that. But look at the ship, the bowsprit going in, all of the masts. The lifeboat is going to go over the vent in the front between the masts. You can see the base, the foremast shrouds, the securing sections. Let's see. We're going to be putting the rat lines on once it gets to the after the main assembly. And again, the finished model, you can see how the, now I don't know if this model came with rigging. This one did not. It did come with the chains for the anchors though. I don't know if it would have come with view showing position of ropes. So it probably does not have the rigging included, but you can see the rigging as it wants to, they want it to be done. So that's the instruction sheet on this movie titled The Buccaneer. And I might not be able to get a date off the model kit, but I will be able to get date off of the movie. So let's... Buccaneer. I got to do a little bit of research. I don't know if this is an actual flyer or from a movie poster, but I'll see. This box itself does have a little bit of damage. You can see on the front of the box. And again, you can see it lit up. We can check out the Buccaneer, the Black Falcon, which is a really nice ship, and I love how they have the eagle or the falcon etched into it. That'll be fun to bring out with the paint. So this is like one of those really old fun kind of kits. Let me see if I can pick this up without it coming apart. You guys can see the base. I love that base. I absolutely love the etching in the base. It looks like a map, and that would be really, really fun to detail up. And the ship is going to be really fun, and we're going to put the rigging on and painting it up just like she appeared in the movie. So this should be really, really fun. So my friends, someday we'll get to this build. We get so many projects going on. I don't know when it's going to be, but this will be a really fun build. So until we build build a ship, and that video comes up, I'll talk to you guys really soon. Thank you so much for watching.